I have a short story to share with you that this last Friday, Pastor Jim Feldback from Rochester shared. There's a young couple, freshly married, living in Chicago. They became pregnant, and unfortunately, the husband got sent overseas to war. We know, as most of these stories turn out, the husband didn't come back. He was killed in action, leaving a young widow with a newborn baby and trouble. The young mother, for whatever reason, was not able to breastfeed the baby, so she had to use formula. One day she fed the baby her last bottle of formula, just realizing that that was the last bottle that they had. So she decided it was winter in Chicago, and like around here is cold. She only lived half a block or a block away from the corner store. So she fed the last bottle to the baby, and she was going to lay the baby down for a nap, and she'll quick run to the store and get a new can of formula. So she tucked the baby in, sleeping. She figured it'll take me 10 or 15 minutes to run to the store. Pretty quick, put her coat on, walked briskly down to the store, got the formula, and was standing in line. Another thing that just seems to be Murphy's Law: when you're in a hurry, you always get behind a person with a cart full of groceries. So she's standing there, and you almost see her just tapping her feet, waiting impatiently. She wanted to get back home. While she was standing there, she heard the faint sound of sirens. She had an unease in her spirit. Didn't think a whole lot of it. The sirens started getting closer, closer. Pretty soon, the fire trucks flew right by the store, and she knew. She dropped the can and ran out to her apartment, only to find it fully engulfed in flames. She ran through the flames and into the apartment. She found the baby. The baby was just fine. She tucked the baby in her coat and went to open the door from her apartment and was just engulfed in flames. The next thing that she remembers is waking up in the hospital and asking for her baby, how her baby was. Her baby was just fine. She protected her with her coat. But the mother had a long road ahead. She was severely burned all over her body, her face, her arms. She had to spend time in the hospital, had many skin grafts, and to say the least, she was disfigured. Well, she lived with it. She learned to live with it. Unfortunately, the only job she could find because of the way she looked was a night job. So she worked it out with the neighbor. The neighbor would come over and watch her daughter during the day, and she worked at night. Well, years passed, and they learned to live with that. And she went to work one night and got off early. So she came home, and her daughter that night had a friend over to spend the night. The kids were still sleeping. She snuck into the bathroom, was getting ready for what was her bedtime. She was getting ready to go to bed. While she was doing that, the girls got up and they went into the living room and were talking, and the mother heard her daughter's friend ask her daughter, "Who was that came in? Who was that lady?" And the daughter told her friend, "Oh, that's just our cleaning lady. She's here to clean her house." See, the mother never told her daughter what happened to her, why her face was like that, why she was disfigured. And it hurt the mother. So later that afternoon, when the friend was gone, she sat down with the daughter and she told her why she was that way, what happened. And the daughter just broke down, realizing that she wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the mother's sacrifice. Jesus did that same thing for us. He went and he got completely disfigured for our sin. How often when we're downtown or working, do we just kind of deny him in a little way? Oh, he's just the cleaning lady. What denomination do you go to? Do you go to that denomination that they believe in speaking in tongues and they're all radical? And you just kind of brush the question off. Is it time for us to have a sit down with Jesus and have him remind us what he did for us? us the stripes he has on his back, the wounds in his hand, the hole in his side. Jesus willingly came to earth. Willingly. He knew before he left heaven what he was going to face when he got on earth. And he came and obeyed the will and gave his life for me, for each one of you, for every person to walk this earth. That's just